Hello and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your almost never update of everything that's happening in Rocket Pool, Ethereum, crypto, and wider news, I guess. Today's episode is going to cover Rocket Pool news, and we're going to be talking about Saturn, community effort to promote Saturn, open votes, smart node stuff. And I'm going to talk to you about where I've been as well. So let's get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hey everyone, so it's nice to be back. The last episode was a very long time ago. I actually checked my notes and I had one ready to record at the beginning of October, but I never got around to recording it, and then I just kind of stopped working on Rocket Fuel. I think what happened is that I got a little bit burned out, and it's really tough to make these episodes when there's just so much negativity around. And in September, Saturn was delayed, and even before that, Saturn had been delayed. The RPL price was doing really badly. It was just a really emotionally draining space, and I'd really struggled for a while actually before that to make episodes as well. I wasn't in my routine. I didn't have, I wasn't on top of things, and things got a little bit overwhelming, and I just kind of stopped recording episodes. So, I didn't renew my grant. The GMC's financial situation was really tough, and they were struggling to, balance the books basically. And it just made sense to kind of cancel the grant and, well, not renew the grant, I should say. But then I did have the intention to make episodes and record episodes, but every time that I wanted to do it, it was always some situation that, would come up that would kind of make me do it. I had this idea that I was going to start live streaming episodes instead of recording them and broadcasting them, because that is easier for distribution. But there wasn't a platform that I kind of clicked with. And I'll be honest, I didn't research it as much as I should have. But anyway, it's been a while since I've made an episode. For the last few weeks, I've kind of been feeling like I want to record something. But I just haven't I haven't found the motivation or the energy to do it. And today I got a message from Hippocrates saying, like, what's going on? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to record an episode. So this one's for Hippocrates and everyone else. I'm not saying that episodes are going to be daily. They almost definitely will not be daily. I'm not even saying episodes will be weekly, though hopefully they will be at least weekly. But there is stuff happening that might mean, well, I don't know. We'll see, we'll set off later. But I'm hoping to record episodes, but I'm not going to give any promise of a cadence or when that might or might not be. But yeah, let's get started for today's episode. That was a long intro of me just talking, so sorry about that. Saturn. Okay, that's what everyone wants to know about. Saturn is coming. When is Saturn coming? Well, we've had a few delays since the last episode, and it looks like we are finally ready for Saturn. I'm hoping. Langer's put out this announcement 10 days ago now. This is the most recent update we've had from Langer's. He says it's been an intense week. Here's the latest on Saturn. Says the team worked closely with BailSec and Cantina to finalize audits. Cantina's completed the review. The report is available on our website, so you can go and read that. And they said we submitted the final resolutions to BailSec, who are currently reviewing, so their report should be published this week. I've not seen that report be published, but it might be on the website already. And then it says the Sigma Prime audit concluded earlier, but some items require rechecking. Their report will be available in early February before the ODAL proposal. So that's hopefully coming in the next week or so, I guess. And it says one BailSec report is published, we'll update our Immunify bounty to cover the new code. So that is exciting. Now, this is comprehensive testing of Saturn. It continues on DevNet 6, with the team fixing issues and applying final refinements. And says we're planning to deploy the Saturn code to testnet next week. So that hasn't actually happened yet, as far as I know. It says testnet code operators, please watch out for the announcement. And it says during a recent community call, I noticed that February 9th target fell within the reward interval. So what they've done is they've pushed it out by 1 week. So it says I mentioned the 16th of February as a new target, but actually due to scheduling considerations, without targeting February 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So it says the team is working incredibly hard to get Saturn across the line, and we're close. Thank you for your continued support and patience, and we'll continue providing regular updates as we move through the testnet deployment and approach mainnet launch. So, like I said, that's 10 days old news, but now we have a date, hopefully that will stick with, which is February 17th. Now, is that the final date? Version 2 final adjustments, like blah blah. No, we don't know for sure, right? Like there still could be something that comes up through testnet, although the audits are all done now, so hopefully there isn't anything major that comes up. But if there is a major bug, then that could push back Saturn maybe weeks, maybe months. But at this moment in time, the way things stand right now, we are in a position where Saturn is coming, in just over about 3 weeks' time. So that's incredibly exciting. Really, really, really good stuff. And I'm hoping that doesn't change. Okay, we started a community campaign, which is really, really exciting. Shifrin put this campaign together, and he says this community pop-up campaign. So he said amid turbulent market conditions comes one of the most important moments in Rocket Pool's history, Saturn 1. It says to halve the operating point to 4 ETH, introduce mini pools and adjustable commissions controls, further improving capital efficiency and the node operator experience. It says we're launching 4-week community outreach campaign to help amplify awareness of Saturn 1, featuring weekly pop-ups and a single end of campaign raffle. So the way that this works is every week there is a theme, and people will go out into the world and talk about Rocket Pool in accordance with that theme. If they do that, like if they go to make a tweet about it, if they go to Reddit and post in Reddit's Ethereum page, if they do, one of those actions like YouTube comments, etc. If they do those actions, try to get the word out about Rocket Pool, then they will get the POAP. And then there's also that's 4 weeks of POAPs, and then there's going to be one extra POAP for that you can pay towards a raffle, and that money is being collected to fund the raffle. Now, this started on January 14th, so we are currently in week 3. Week 3 started yesterday, and basically Schiff here explains how you can get the POAP every week and what the raffle is going to look like. So at the time that Schiff announced this, there was a minimum amount of raffle prize, and that was $300, but that has now gone up. I'll talk to you about that, guys, in a minute. There's an address that you can send your ETH or RPL to, and you can just let Schiff know that you've sent some money and he can check the transactions. But here is the information about it, about how to do it. So there's lots of information about what Saturn is and what it's going to do, and that will make sure that we all have consistent messaging when we're sending out the information. But this started, like I said, a couple of weeks ago. And here Destroyer was one of the first people saying that I reminded the Daily Grey community of the upgrade, and then there was a link to that post. So that was awesome. Here Iceland Calling put out an update about it too. Superphase wrote tweets about it. So like I said, those POAPs. So the really great thing about this is that a whole lot of the community was kind of boosting each other, going and liking and retweeting tweets, all that kind of stuff. But this is a really exciting campaign. Like, I've really enjoyed being part of it so far. And what you can see is that we have gotten the POAPs for the first 2 weeks already. This was the first week POAP. It says week 1, Rocket Pool Community Outreach. There's a picture of Saturn. It says, what is Saturn 1? That was the theme for week 1. And these POAPs are all designed by Sleety. They're absolutely beautiful POAPs. And then there's a week 2 POAP as well. But actually, there was something that really exciting happened in the middle of this. Is the RPL benefactor came into the Discord and got a new batch of money. There was a 5,000 RPL that was sent from Thomas to the benefactor. And here the rules are: every week Schifrin makes a POAP. The POAP holders will get a share of 750 RPL each for each of those weeks. So there's 4 weeks of campaigns. So if there's 750 people, you'll get 1 RPL each, and if there's 1 person, then you'll get 750 RPL for your outreach work. I think there's been about 20 or 30 people for each of the weeks so far, so that adds up to be somewhere around 30 or 40 RPL per person, which is quite nice. Like for putting out a tweet or a comment. Benny's going to give 1,000 RPL to the final raffle. So if you have the POAPs, you've got a chance of winning a nice prize there. And also 1,000 RPL will go to community members. And Benny says that only people who've been active over the last years will get the RPL for that. So that's all really good stuff, really exciting. So I think that post actually invigorated a lot of people to actually go out and get messaging out, which is wonderful to see. And people were stepped up the game. So if you are on Twitter and following the Rocket Pool community people, you should start seeing more contributions coming from them. And then there's the POAP design. Let me see if I can show you the next one. Here, the people who have done the engagements and done the different kinds of work. And let me see. Yeah, so week 1 contributors, there was around 25 people. Let me show you the week 2 POAP. You guys can tell I'm rusty. I should have had all these links open up already. But where is it? Yeah, so the prizes have been donated. So that's for the raffle prize. RPL benefactor, 1,000 RPL, and Ent Hydra, 20 RPL, Superfizz 0.1 ETH, Bane 0.1 ETH, WAC 5 RPL. Yeah, let me see the POAP. Anyway, yeah, there's POAPs, guys. Sorry about this, but there's the thread is linked in the description below. You can go to that. You can get the POAPs. You can the ones that have already gone, of course, you won't get those ones. But the ones that are coming up, you've got week 3 and week 4, and you can still get the donation POAP as well. So there's nearly $3,000 worth of prizes already. I'm not sure how the raffle is going to be divided out, but there's a decent chunk of money that you've got a good chance of winning those POAPs. So definitely put in the effort to get those POAPs. And this is the donation POAP. So it says Rocket Pool Saturn 1. I donated community outreach, and this is January 2026. So that is a very, very nice POAP as well. It looks beautiful. Sleety's designs are always incredible. So yeah, I really love them. And then week 2 contributions, we had a bunch of those. Let me see if I can find the POAP for week 2. Should be here somewhere. Anyway, like I said, there's a whole lot of campaign stuff going on. So get involved in that. Get the word out for Saturn. This is actually a really, really big deal for Rocket Pool. So if you are watching Rocket Fuel right now, then please go and put out some positive messaging about Rocket Pool and about Saturn. This is the week 2. So it says Mega Pools was the theme. Week 2, Rocket Pool community outreach, Saturn 1 improvements, and that was January 2026 as well. So again, this is a really beautiful POAP. And yeah, this is now we're in week 3. So people made their week 2 contributions and then their week 3 contributions as well. So the final contributions for week 2 were longer than week 1, but it was about 30 people, I think. So there's a nice amount of RPL that can go to you if you are one of those people. And there's that's where we are right now. So get the word out about week 3 stuff. Get a share of Benny's money, and everyone can party for Saturn. I know the money this time, it seems like it's not going to be as much as it was in previous years, but hey, at least it's a nice idea and a really, really great thing from Thomas to be doing this. So huge thanks to Thomas. Okay, we have a smart node update. This is Phonax here with an update saying the latest version is 1.18.10. Now, this is not the final version for Saturn. This doesn't have the info for Saturn in there, so you will likely have to upgrade again. Now, if you there's some client updates in here. If you haven't upgraded your smart node, updated your smart node since last time it was in rocket fuel, then go and do that. But there'll be an update coming in, I think, in a couple of weeks' time. That will be the final Saturn upgrade. So definitely keep your eyes open for that one, because you want to get access to those mini pools on day one. But here we have Geth, Nethermind, and Reth updates, and there's some smart node changes as well that can make your just make your life a little bit easier for the smart node, and then you can update your software. So yeah. Okay, there's a bunch of governance stuff going on in the rocket pool community that is actually quite active right now. There's two votes. One is not very controversial at all, and the other one has become kind of controversial. The first one is increase the deposit pool maximum. So long-time listeners and rocket pool community members and node operators will know that there is a limit of 18,000 ETH that can go into the deposit pool. That has... Basically, what happened is we knew that a lot of people were going to exit their validators in order to come back in as Saturn megapools, and the ETH would fill up the deposit pool and then would get a premium because it would start overflowing as people exited in order to re-enter. And that's just a bad user experience because people can't mint new RETH, especially if we've got a promotion going on where we're kind of talking about RETH as much as we are, and we will be, then it kind of makes it difficult to mint RETH, which is of course, the main product of Rocket Pool is RETH. So this idea came up with the community to change the value of the maximum amount of RETH that the deposit pool could hold from 18,000 ETH to 6 million ETH, which is 20% of staked ETH at this point. So we're self-limiting with those Ethereum values. But what will probably happen is in a few weeks' time, once everything's settled down with Saturn, then we will change it back to a more reasonable number, because it's not going to be important to do that anymore, because we'll never be node operator constrained pretty much ever again, I think. Unless something changes drastically, which it could. But it just means that, there likely won't be much ETH in the deposit pool going forwards. But this is nice just to make sure that, everything's on track for Saturn and people will have space basically to get into mega pools on day one. Now, let's actually just go back and have a look at the state of the deposit pool right now. So we can see the information right here. So actually, let me just scroll down. So right now we have 13,358 ETH in the deposit pool. That's from people exiting or people buying our ETH. And that is enough for 477 4 ETH validators, where 4 ETH comes from the node operator and 28 ETH comes from the deposit pool. That is going to be gone on day one. So you better be ready for Saturn. Saturn, like I said, it'll be here on February 19th. Just like Saturn 0, I think that ate through, 40 or 45,000 ETH worth in the deposit pool in pretty much 24, I think maybe 36 hours. It was something like that. It was very, very fast. I think this is going to be just as fast, if not faster, depending on how much ETH is in the deposit pool. I pretty much expect all of it to be gone within 24 hours of Saturn launching. So if you, be ready for that is what I'm saying. But there's a potential that, there could be, at this moment in time, that vote has not gone through. So the deposit pool limit still is 18,000. But if you have a look over here, you can see that the vote is pretty much, it's passed. Well, it's not passed. It's still got 10 days left for the vote to go through, but it's at 118% quorum. We have 88% of people in favor of it, 12% against this change, which is fine. But it looks like it's going to it's going to go through with that change happening. So this will be updated in 10 days. So we've got enough space for 4,000 ETH in there for the next 10 days, which I think should be full, basically quite comfortably full within 10 days time. So there's a chance that premium could develop. Of course, people won't be able to use the premium because the mini pool queue has been closed now. There's no mini pools that we wanted to go through with the old mini pool style. We want every new validator to start on Rocket Pool going forwards to be in the mega pool validator. But yeah, so that vote is going to pass, but there's still 10 days left for that. Actually, a little bit less than that now. Sorry, that's just when the last vote came through. Wait, let me see. I don't have the latest numbers, but yeah, the latest numbers. I don't have the latest numbers, but it's like 7 days away, basically, that vote will go through. But it's going to go forward. So that's pretty good to see. There's actually another vote ongoing now as well, and this is a snapshot vote, and this is a little bit more controversial in terms of some of the discussion that's come up around it, but it's also passing. So let's have a look here. This is RPIP 77. So it says set smart node default to use the latest delegate for mini pools. So Rocket Pool has this system where once you make a validator, you don't have to change its delegate ever again. Now, this is actually changing in megapools. So with megapools, we'll have automatically updating delegates. With traditional validators, it means that if you have an original Rocket Pool validator with fixed commission, there's still people out there who are getting 20% commission on 16 ETH validators. Which is like, right from the beginning of Rocket Pool all those years ago. And they haven't changed they haven't updated their validators in that time. So those can never be changed. And that was the decision made by Rocket Pool at the time to kind of like give node operators power and kind of make it immutable for them. Now, the consequence of that is there are a whole lot of validators on the protocol who are not attesting, and they've not been attesting for a while. In fact, hundreds of validators meet this situation. Let's have a look at what the abstract says. I'll let Dr. Doofus explain it better than I am. So it says the proposal specifies that future smart node update will by default set mini pools managed via the smart node to use the latest delegate smart contract and remove supported smart node configuration options for setting older delegate implementations. The intent is to improve protocol-wide consistency among mini pools, enable PDAO approved mini pool changes, and remove some technical blockers to future enforcement mechanisms, including but not limited to forced exit of persistently underperforming mini pools. Now, this was actually going to be something that we can do in mega pools in Saturn 1, but there's no way to do this to those old validators, which obviously we want to be able to do. Now, the reason why this is controversial is because in the protocol, this will be, if you update your smart node, it will update your delegate. And once your delegate is updated, then you will be at, possibility of a forced exit potentially, but other things as well. So it's kind of changing those validators from what they were to a new kind of validator. Now, there's more information here. There's a lot of discussion going on. There are risk and considerations, and that this, like I said, is an active discussion that's ongoing, even though the vote has started. Now, we thought that the community was kind of set. There were a couple of dissenting voices, but one interesting thing that happened is Dave, the founder of Rocket Pool, once the vote actually went live, came into the forum and says, the discussion about this RPIP came into the forum and kind of had his say about it, saying that forcing a node operator to upgrade via backdoor, which can be circumvented anyway, breaks an important trust assumption which node operators signed up to. They are in control of their deposits and how they're handled in mini pools. If a backdoor is implemented, it breaks this trust. With mega pools on the way, I'd only support this kind of change if the node operator is made fully aware of the change and can opt out when installing whichever smart node version might include this. So the idea is that at the moment, the way the RPIP is written and the way the community is voting, this will not be opt-out. If you update the smart node, you will also be updating your delegate. So Dave goes on to say, as a side note, this also raises another interesting point, which is not to distract from the above. It says, but it's worth considering since the smart node is the lab's implementation of the client which interacts with the protocol, they should definitely weigh in PDAO sentiment significantly, but ultimately any changes would fall on their decision on what to include in their implementation. He says, I'd actually love to see competing implementations, just like we have with the client teams, to help eliminate any single point of failure. This would also give node operators the freedom of choice to choose what aligns with their principles the most when interacting with the protocol at the client level. Now, this was a controversial comment by Dave in the community. Dave has not been around much. Like you can see on the forum right here, it says it's been a while since we've seen Dave. Their last post was 2 years ago. Now, it's a very similar situation with Dave in the Rocky Pool Discord. Dave is not a visible presence in the protocol anymore. Like, that's just the way it is, by Dave's own choice. Like, he just doesn't participate in the community anymore, take part in governance anymore, even participate in updates or anything like that. Now, I think what happened is, people understood that this is controversial. People understood that this is changing Rocket Pool, from that original trust assumption. But the idea was that Rocket Pool is changing in this way anyway, and there is an expectation of node operators that they agree to when becoming Rocket Pool node operators, that they will, manage their nodes effectively and efficiently and stay up to date with their updates. And there's a whole cohort of node operators who are not only not doing that, but their validators have literally not been working for months, and it's just a drain on everyone and everything. I voted to implement this change, to change the delegate functionality and to enable it automatically. So I disagree with Dave here, although I do understand that, it's a difficult, it's a sensitive issue, and it's not a decision that I made lightly when I voted in favor of this RPIP. Now, I guess the community discussion that kind of focused around, like, Dave really had months to make this comment beforehand. Waiting until the vote was already live, serves no purpose. And then I think some people also saw Dave's second paragraph, which is talking about multiple implementations of the smart node, as almost a kind of threat. Potentially, I'm not saying this, this is what Dave intended, but I think some people in the community saw this as a threat, saying even if the PDAO votes this through, it would still be the team's decision to put this into their smart node or not. And then this is the sentence here. It says they should definitely weigh in PDAO sentiment significantly. Well, since the smart node is the lab's implementation of the client which interacts with the protocol, ultimately any changes would fall in with their decisions on what to include in their implementation. So this then started a discussion about the team getting paid by the community, and how that all works out and what the responsibilities and where they lie, and brought up a whole of the discussions about you want to kind of decentralize and maintain values in this area, but then you're kind of shitting on the DAO in this other area. And I think a lot of this could have been avoided if Dave was just more present in the protocol, more present in the community, just aware of what was happening, what discussions were taking place, what proposals were making their way through the pipeline, and, really got involved in this discussion early on. I'm not saying that Dave would have, convinced the community to pause or stop this from happening. Potentially, he could have. His voice does carry a lot of weight, but there's definitely some, I think, bad feelings from the community towards Dave that are kind of have come back up to the surface because of Dave's comment here, for all the reasons, right, like that I've just mentioned. So anyway, that's going to be really interesting to see how that happens. If Dave does say that the team is not implementing this into the smart node, we don't want to do it. I thought it's going to cause like a constitutional crisis in the Rocket Pool protocol, which yeah, drama. But that's not where we are. Of course, that's not where we are right now. However, as the way things stand, this vote is live. This vote is passing. There's 88% of people are in favor of this, and 12% of people are not in favor of this, and that includes Dave. But the this is going to pass, right? So the vote is going to end on February 6th, which is in a week. And then of course it's up to the team to put that into the smart node. As far as I understand it, it's a really easy code. Like it's just you change one flag and go to another flag. There's information in the R paper about it. You can read about what changes need to happen. But yeah, like I said, there's been a couple of people who voted against this. The biggest, of course, is Dave, who says this breaks the trust assumption. But other than that, there's actually, let me just use this one. Other than that, there's been a few Ments here voted against it. That node operator should be given a chance to opt in. NRESB says this negatively changes the node operator experience. And then another person here says giving anyone the power to change node operator experience is a bad thing. So yeah, like I said, 12 people, about 11 to 12% of people are against this. 88% of people are for it. 89%. So the vote is going to pass with quorum as well, with 130% quorum. The next thing then will be what does the team decide to implement. So yeah, there might be drama there. I'm hoping there's no drama there, but there's a chance there will be drama there. Anyway, this was supposed to be like a really quick update, like a 10-minute video of the different things that are happening, but I'm not very good at doing those kind of videos. So this is half an hour. So yay. Anyway, like I said in the beginning, like I hope that I will be recording episodes more regularly. I'm just going to record whatever I feel like. So don't expect a fully comprehensive, digest of everything that's happening in Rocket Pool and Ethereum. I'll try to cover the main things, but it mostly will be things that I'm interested in. Rocket Fuel might actually change a little bit as well, in that I start talking about other things at the end of the episode. So it might become kind of like a smorgasbord of whatever Wack is interested in. That's what he wants to talk about. So there might be, I don't know if this will happen for sure. It probably won't, but there might be a chance that I'll talk about other things that are happening in Ethereum land, and tokens or protocols or things that I find exciting and fun. So yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. You have all been missed completely, like totally, definitely. Like I really have, even though Rocket Fuel burned me out and it was really difficult to record at times, I've really been missing recording it for a while, and just being that much more involved in the community. I think for a while there as well, I kind of withdrew myself from the community a little bit. Even though I was around every day, I wasn't as active as I had been previously. But that was only a short-lived thing. Like that was not the case, even a few months ago that had changed. But I feel good going forwards, and I think there's good things ahead for Rocket Pool and Ethereum. And one thing I wanted to talk about, actually, I should have mentioned this earlier, is let me just show you all that there's a submissions channel for Rocket Fuel. It used to be that I had a raffle where I would pay out $1,000 every month for the submissions. I can't afford that anymore because I'm not getting paid for Rocket Fuel anymore from the GMC. So I'm not going to be in a position to pay out any money. But if you would like to contribute content to the show, I would really appreciate that. Actually, would be a tremendous help if you did that. So you all know where the submissions thread is. Go to Rocket Fuel submissions, throw your posts in there, and that is then I'll be more likely to talk about that in the show. Let me actually find it. Like there's only one person who's been using it, and I think that was more aspirationally, like hoping that it would nudge me into getting an episode out. Last post was 9 days ago, and S Jaws was the only one who was kind of encouraging me to get Rocket Fuel out. But Yeah, and Sam Liquidity as well here posted about Liquidity. So the thread was still there. It's just now it's not going to be incentivized anymore. So if you want to do it, it will all be of your own volition. I would really appreciate it, but of course you don't have to. Maybe we can make a POAP or something as a way of saying thanks. But yeah, S-Jaws was carrying the torch here for a while on their own, just as a way of hoping, I think, that hoping for a way that we would get more rocket fuel. But yeah, you got one today, S-Jaws, so it's all good. But yeah, if you want to contribute to submissions, you're welcome to do that, and I will keep an eye on that, of course. But I'm hoping that episodes become more frequent. I don't want to say daily. I don't want to put pressure on myself to make it daily. But that is the cadence that works really well. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you once again. And hopefully it won't be 4 months or 5 months, whatever it was, until you see me again. Bye.